allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we have a series of resignations, reappointments, and appointments going on here. So we'll kick things off with the item 3, resignations. From the Conservation Commission, Jennifer Howhuth, Democrat, 1260 Merritt Street, for a term of 11/14 to 11/19, and her resignation date was November 9th, 2018. She's moved on. She's moving to a full member. And 2, Kathleen Maxim, Democrat, 553 North Benson Road, for a term of 11/14 to 11/19, and her resignation date was November 6, 2018. From the Economic Development Commission, Nancy Carberry, Democrat, 190 Golden Pond Lane, and term was 11/16 to 11/21, and her resignation date was September 21st, 2018. And John McGonnell, Republican, 3931 Congress Street. His term was 11/16 to 11/21, and his resignation date was October 1st, 2018. Next up, First Selectmen reappointments, and this is for information only. From the Conservation Commission, Richard D'Amico, Republican, 1353 Brooklawn Avenue, and that term is 11/18 to 11/23. And Felicia B. Watson, Republican, 546 Hoydens Hill Road, and that term is 11/18 to 11/23. Also, reappointment to the Economic Development Commission, Rishi Narang, Republican, 50 Stone Ridge Way. His term is 11/18 to 11/23. C, to the Employees Retirement Board. This requires RTM approval. That's Carolyn Trabucco, Democrat, 111 Lookout Drive South, for a term of 11/18 to 11/23. Then the Fair Housing Authority, Carol Landsman, Democrat, 41 Old Coach Road, and that term is 11/18 to 11/23. And the Parking Authority, Greg Alprin, Democrat, 130 Lee Drive, and that term is 11/18 to 11/23. Next up, reappointments. Shall we take these one board at a time? Sure. Okay. All right. To hear, consider, and act upon the following reappointments. The Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee. Okay to take them both together?
Yes.
Karen Secrist, unaffiliated, 505 Toilsome Hill Road, term 11/18 to 11/22. And Nathaniel Rex, unaffiliated, 60 Arbor Drive, term 11/18 to 11/22. May I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any comments?
Thank you for your willingness to serve. I understand these are reappointments. Right?
Correct.
So, yeah. Continue the magic.
Yeah, no, I'm happy
Yep.
they chose to re-up.
Yep, and Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee has done some tremendous work on the last year, and I think they've made some major improvements to our town, enhancements in terms of how we're looking at things. So I'm thrilled that they're willing to re-up. Are Karen and Nathaniel here? I don't see them here. All right, good. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. Ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Congratulations to our 2 volunteers, and thank you for stepping up again. Next up, the Burr Gardens Advisory Committee. Tara Baki, Republican, 388 Old Post Road, term 11/18 to 11/21. May I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
A second?
Second.
Any comments from the board?
Thank you for your willingness to serve again.
Likewise.
Yep. And the Burr Gardens Committee has kind of helped us make some improvements out here, actually behind this building, between here and Burr Mansion. They've done some good work, and we have some, I think, projects ahead that we need their help on. So this is very good. Thrilled that Ms. Backey is stepping up again. Any comments from the public? Back to the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next up, Flood and Erosion Control. Paul Landino, Republican, 1657 Fairfield Beach Road, for a term of 11/18 to 11/23. May I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
Second.
Any comments from the board?
I would just say the Flood and Erosion Control Board has been quite vocal the last couple of years in sort of raising the flag of big line projects we need to do to plan for the future. So I appreciate all the work they've done and look forward to Paul's continued contributions to that commission.
Mr. Bateson?
No, I'm all good.
Yes, with both with we've got our hazard mitigation plan. It gets updated every 4 years, and I expect the Flood and Erosion Control Board to be involved in that. And as we found out recently, our flooding is not only confined to the beach area. So the charge of the Flood and Erosion Control Board will certainly be expanded to different areas of town. So I'm thrilled that Mr. Landino wants to step up again. Any comments from the public?
Good afternoon. I'm Dick Mahusky, and I'm the current chairman of the Flood and Erosion Control Board. And I would just like to let you know that Paul is a valuable contributing member of our board, and I would urge you to reappoint him.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, and please let Mr. Landino know that we appreciate his service. All right, next up, the Greater Bridgeport Transit. This also requires RTM approval. Mitchell Fuchs, Democrat, 202 Melody Lane, for a term of 11/18 to 11/22. May I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
Second.
Any comments from the board?
I would, first of all, I'm excited Mitch is going back on there. I see Doug in the back of the room over there. This is a very important appointment. A lot of people don't realize that the Greater Bridgeport Transit Authority is sort of the lifeline for a lot of people who work here in Fairfield to get to and from where they live to, handle a lot of jobs they have, whether it's a service job in town or whatever they may be doing. The important factor to stress right now is there's been continued funding cut to the Greater Bridgeport Transit Authority, which has sort of hindered the amount of bus rides we can have running through Fairfield at a time to help either get people to doctor's appointments, get people to their employment. So we have to be conscious of this at the state level and the town level as we watch funding sort of erode for this board. So I always make a plug for it because I am a believer in our transit system. So thank you, Mitch, for your willingness to serve. Look forward to your contributions.
Mr. Bateson?
I've known Mitch for years. I'm glad he chose to re-up.
Yep. Mr. Fuchs has done this for quite a bit of time, and he's very passionate about mass transit and help. And I would concur with Selectman Timniak's remarks in that, especially during the recent budget crunch, the state has made very significant cuts to Greater Bridgeport Transit. And I think that's the lifeline for people getting to their jobs. And we're talking about getting cars off the road. We want them to use mass transit. It does not make sense in that environment when we're trying to get cars off the road that we also cut dollars to mass transit and limit their opportunities to use mass transit to get to work. Of all the things we do, the state has got to find a way to fund this. This is a true regional resource. And I know they put more dollars into Hartford, New Haven. I'd like to see them give Bridgeport their fair share of those mass transit dollars and make sure that our people can get to work on a timely basis. Before we vote, any comments from the public? If you will, just at the podium, if you would, please.
Right, so Mitch has been on the board for some time now and a great attentive member. And with the budget cuts, he's also been very hawkish on our budget. As a result, we're more efficient than we were, a decade ago. So he's been a great help, and I'm just, I'll answer any questions anybody has, but I hope, you'll be able to reappoint him. It sounds like you.
Introduce yourself to the camera.
Great.
Can we
Doug
get his name
Holcomb,
for
Greater
the-
Bridgeport Transit.
If you could just say your name and position.
Sure, Doug Holcomb, I'm the general manager of Greater Bridgeport Transit.
Thank you, Doug.
All right.
Thanks, Doug.
Any other comments from the public? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Please let Mr. Fuchs know we're thrilled that he re-upped in this position. Next up, Parks and Rec Commission, Brian Nerreau, Republican, 105 Mountain Laurel Road, term of 11/18 to 11/23. May I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion?
A second?
Second.
Any comments from the board?
No, the rec committee's getting lots of hot topics right now going on right there, so I'm excited Brian's going back on and can continue his good work on the committee.
Mr.
Yeah,
Bateson?
I had a chance to have a cup of coffee and catch up on him because, like like Chris said, there's a lot going on in Parks and Rec, the marina, and I know that this is going to be a hot topic. So his depth of experience, I'm happy to reappoint him.
Yeah. Mr. Nerreau has been been a very crucial asset to the Parks and Rec Commission in the past, and I'm thrilled that he's continuing on in that capacity, because, as my colleagues have said, we have our challenges facing us in the future, and it's good to have an experienced hand on board with that. Any comments from the public? Okay, back to the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Nerreau, congratulations and thank you for your service. Next up, Solid Waste and Recycling Commission. This requires RTM approval. I should point out that Anthony Santa Capita, an unaffiliated from 43 Lakeview Place, called earlier today to withdraw his nomination because work commitments may not allow him to continue on this capacity. So that leaves us with Mary S. Byer, Democrat, 4720 Congress Street, term of 11/18 to 11/22. May I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
A second?
Second.
Any comments?
No.
Okay.
No, happy she's re-upping.
Mary, or Misty Byer, as she also goes by, was one of the first folks I met on the forestry committee at the time, and she's been a volunteer heavily involved in Fairfield and our sustainability efforts, and has done a great job in that capacity. I'm thrilled that she's willing to serve on the Solid Waste and Recycling Commission. And again, with things changing, as we all know, changing in the world of recycling, where it went from being a profit center to a cost center in a few short months ago, there are some major changes coming in. So glad that she is going to be there to help us through that. Any comments from the public? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Moving on. Tree Warden. Jeffery M. Minder, term 11/18 to 11/19. May I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
A second.
Second.
Any comments from the board?
I see Mr. Minder here in the audience. Thank you for willing to do this again. Probably one of the guys most targeted by the public for tree concerns, questions. Is this my property? Can you take this down? Stump removals, the whole bit. Your job is not easy, especially when we try to go through the forestry management side of things, pulling back or trimming back to remove from the wires. I know that your phone must have been completely blown up over the last couple of years, so I appreciate you willing to do it again. And you definitely have my support moving forward. Thank you.
Mr. Bateson.
Yeah, I had a chance to get involved personally with this because I was affected by the UI trimming program. I lost several trees in the right-of-way. And dealing with Jeff, his department, and Lewis Tree, who was doing the subcontracting, was, even though I was upset that I was losing the trees, they made the process painless. And it was fun. And also, too, I got Tom to replant 2 new trees for me. So it was a pleasure dealing with these guys, and I spent some time with Jeff yesterday. I did a little ride along, and that was a lot of fun to see up close what he did. So it was good. I'm happy to reappoint him.
Yeah. No, we definitely get, being a Tree City USA, we definitely get a lot more citizens concerned about our trees in many towns out there. And I certainly have got to hand it to Jeff. We've worked together in trying to deal with UI over the years and their program, and it's been an ongoing challenge. And Jeff has been able to keep me calm in some of those meetings, so I appreciate that greatly. And managed to navigate those waters and protect our trees at the same time, as well as being conscious of keeping us more sustainable by the fact that certain of our trees are in the way of power lines, and power at a time of a storm is very important to have on. The approach UI is taking leaves a lot to be desired in a host of ways. So Jeff, thank you for putting up with them and helping guide them through how to deal with Fairfield and keep our town from having just stump-lined streets as opposed to tree-lined streets out there. Any comments from the public on this issue? Just-in-time commenting.
Just-in-time comment. Hi, I'm Mary Hogue. I'm chair of the Fairfield Forestry Committee. We work very closely with Jeff. We're very, very happy and proud to be part of Jeff's team. And we happen to have our monthly meeting, And Jeff happened to have to leave, so we got to talk about him. So I wanted to give a few comments that came out of our discussion. We wanted to point out how wonderfully cooperative Jeff is. It's really a wonderful pleasure to be able to do so much work with him, and it's a very compatible relationship, and he really gives us so much ability to do a lot of really fun, interesting things, so we really appreciate all of that. He's incredibly people-focused. This isn't just about trees, it's about people and the safety for the people, and Jeff takes that incredibly seriously, and we're really, really lucky to have that. He responds to the needs and desires of the town, of the people, but he's also very firm in upholding the objectives and the mission of the town to preserve the canopy and improve our environment. So we just really wanted to say thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Mr. Minder. All right, next up, Water Pollution Control Authority. Robert Scinto, Republican, 326 Penfield Road, for a term of 11/18 to 11/22. May I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any comments from the board?
Yeah, I'm sitting on that board. I have, in those meetings with Rob, it's nice to have his perspective from a developer. It really is to have that person in the room, because, that, something like that, heavy user, it's really nice to have that presence there. I'm happy he's reopened. He brings a lot to the table.
No, and I would agree, and on that also, I know Mr. Scinto's gotten involved in a number of areas in town, and I'm thrilled that he's as active in the community as he is, and I think that helps out. And certainly the Water Pollution Control Authority is another board where we have some challenging decisions and some really big dollar projects coming up in the years ahead. And we need, frankly, volunteers that are very committed to taking the time to understand the issues and do what's right for the town in the long run. So I'm thrilled that Mr. Scinto is signing up again. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Mr. Scinto. All right, next up, first selectman appointments. This is for information only for the Conservation Commission. Jennifer Howhuth from Democrat, 1260 Merritt Street, for a term of 11/14 to 11/19, and this is to fill a vacancy for Kathleen Maxim, who resigned. And she's moving from an alternate to a full member. Appointments, to hear, consider, and act upon the following. Okay to take these one board at a time?
Sure.
All right, for the Historic District Commission, and this does require RTM approval. Arthur Gravinas, Republican, 2829 Bronson Road, for a term of 11/18 to 11/23, and this is to fill a vacancy for Timothy Smith, whose term is expiring. And Mr. Gravitas, is moving from an alternate member to a full member. He actually stopped in today to let us know that he could not make the meeting this afternoon. With that, any comments? May I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
Second.
Any comments from the board?
I've known Art for a while now. I'm excited that he's willing to move from an alternate to a full-time member. He is incredibly valuable to that committee.
Likewise.
Okay. And I'll concur with my colleagues. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Then moving on to the Police Commission. Ronald Pine, Republican, 36 Highland Road. There's a term 11/18 to 11/23, and this is to fill a vacancy for Norma Peterson, whose term is expiring. May I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
Second.
All right, any comments from the board?
Yes, I'd like to thank Mr. Pine for his willingness to serve on the Police Commission. I know that he's been a big advocate for the town of Fairfield for many, many years. He has the experience and the commitment to be a very, very good commissioner for the next couple of years. I fully support his appointment.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rachel?
it's an honor to have his name before us, his career in law enforcement, and, I remember working with him on the RTM. It was always a pleasure working with him. I think he's going to bring a level of professionalism to the commission. I look forward to his contribution.
Yep. As you both pointed out, Mr. Pine has been involved in several other boards, helping volunteer and serve for the town. And he's always taken that with the highest degree of dedication and really put in the time necessary. And volunteers are so important to how this town runs, and having a volunteer like Mr. Pine who's going to put in the effort to make sure that he understands the issues and does the job right is extremely important. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, Mr. Pine, thank you for your service.
Congratulations, Ron.
All right, next up, item 8, tax collector. To consider and act upon tax refunds as recommended by the tax collector in the amount of $13,864.33. May I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion?
A second?
Second.
Any amendments?
I've confirmed that the number matches.
Okay, great. Other than that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. With that, and in time for the Thanksgiving holiday, and with a warning to all those going to the Ward Ludlow game, please dress warmly. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Be careful out on the roads tomorrow. Don't stress out during your commute. Whether you're going, everybody's going to get there. Take your time. Be safe. And like Mr. Tetro said, stay warm at the Ludlow Ward game.
Any comments?
Happy Thanksgiving to my colleagues and all of you out there.
All right. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.